Just keeping it real.
Hey y'all. Yeah. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. Ooh. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. What's up, y'all? We done with that. How y'all
Hey,
doing?
what's up, fam?
Hey, what's happening, fam?
All right, you just keeping it real with Charles and
Melendia. That's me. That's him.
Yep.
Yep.
Look, go ahead.
So here we are. We're getting ready to kick off our day one, as we talked about, day one of our 5-day love series.
Yep. 5-day love series.
5 days love series. And today is the first day.
Right, day one.
Yeah, and we want to just kind of start it off with our first thing we would say in day one would
Welcome.
be, how
Welcome.
y'all doing?
Yeah,
How y'all doing?
yeah. We want to talk about love today.
We're gonna talk about
And
love.
like I said, we're on a 5-day series talking about love. And I guess you hear so many songs nowadays talk about love. There's so much expressed, and people everywhere you look, love is in the air. Love, love, love. And we just want to break down some things and talk about the different types of love.
Yeah.
In our study, we saw that there were, I guess we ran across 7 to 8 different types of love as they categorize. And we want to talk about, over the next 5 days, we kind of broke down and said, we'll just keep it at 5 because they appear to be a little bit redundant. So we want to talk about, and we want to talk about that particular love today. But before we announce that, I want to ask the question, what is love?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is something that rings to me from a child. We all learned something as a child, and it's a very, I guess, simplistic answer. What is love?
Yeah. And what we all learn. God is love.
God is love. That's
Right.
something we learn as kids.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, if we think about it, over simple or over simplistic of definition. Now, some people may say God. We don't use that term. We use, whether Abba, Father, Yah, Yahweh, whatever you use. We're talking about the Creator, the one that created us.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about that. And from that standpoint, we use that term that God is love, a simple meaning.
Yeah.
So today, the love we want to talk about is that spiritual love. We're talking about
The
agape,
agape
love.
Yeah.
And you've heard that term before, agape. And to me, we use this, or we brought this one out first because we feel that it is one of the utmost important of love.
Right.
Because if you connect with the Creator, your Creator, the one that made you, and you can connect spiritually, we believe this is the foundation in order to love not only your spouse, but your fellow man, your brothers, your children. You can perform all the other loves once you get that one right.
Right.
And so that's what we want to share a little bit
Yeah.
about today. And we'll talk about agape.
Yeah, so, if you never heard of that term, agape love, understand that the agape love is actually the first love. And we sit and we thought, we was like, well, I wonder, can a person actually have a godly love without actually loving someone? Okay, there's the affection love, there's the conditional love. There's all different types of forms of love that people may categorize it in. But when we're talking about the ultimate, most highest form of love, it's the agape love. And when I have to evaluate myself in situations and struggles in life and things like that, I have to see where I am and do I have a conditional love that is not transformed by an agape love.
Okay.
So, so when we say, well, the type of agape love, or what is included in an agape love?
Okay, so some of the attributes of agape love. First of all, it is a selfless love.
Let's talk about that.
Selfless.
Selfless love. So, what do you mean by that?
Well, we know what selfish is, right? That's a person basically centering themselves as the utmost of importance, and they want to take care of them before anything or anybody else is taken care of. So a person is selfish. They want it first. They want it all a lot of times. So a selfless love is that I'm not only concerned about me, I'm concerned about you first. If you're, whether my friend, my spouse, my children, or whatever there. So in that, selfless love. Right, that's a selfless love.
So take yourself out of it. You take
Right.
yourself out of it.
Or not necessarily out, you are less. You're in, but you're not as the major part of it.
Right.
And that's the thing. So you're in there,
Right.
but you're not the major part or the priority per se.
Right.
And because that's what our Father does for us and has done for us, created us, and He loved us when we were probably unlovable, but yet He loved us unconditionally. And that's the thing of having that agape love.
Absolutely.
And with us, our thing is to learn to love our Creator unconditionally as
Right.
well. And like I say, when we connect in that manner, then it helps us with loving other people.
Right.
Because now, look at the state of our world right now.
Yeah.
There's so much hatred going around. There's so much polarized, whether feelings and expressions that's happened over the years concerning politics, concerning race, right now, vaccination or not, that kind of thing. There's a lot of things going on nowadays, with it. And there's so many different things to cause division. So, and I'm just saying, even we need to get to a point that we do connect with our Creator, as I say, that we may learn to love one another unconditionally and in a selfless manner.
Agape love.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
Selfless love that involves faithfulness,
Giving.
empathy.
Without what? Giving without
expecting.
Without
anything.
expecting anything back. Have you done that? Do you give expecting nothing back?
Sometimes I have. I'm here to,
Sure. Okay.
Sometimes I have.
Okay.
With an expectation of, okay, all right. But is that the appropriate way if we are freely giving? If we are freely giving our love and our compassion, our faithfulness, our selflessness.
Right.
If we are doing that, why should I expect something in return?
Well, the thing about it, I'll say this much: should you expect something back from the person you give to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. I mean,
and,
no.
And right, absolutely.
Right.
So that's the thing when people talk about, hey, we like to pay people back, as we say. Hey, man, I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to pay you back. But when it comes to giving and showing and demonstrating love, then I like the term that people use and we've heard is paying it forward. Instead of me coming back to you to give back to you, I think there's a scripture verse says that the more or less the hypocrites or the Pharisees, they give to people that give to them. So why don't we give and expect that person to give to someone else and keep it moving?
Exactly.
So,
but we are in a state today where we've lost that agape love.
Sure.
The society, not saying everyone.
Right.
But if we actually can sit back and think about how so much has divided us.
Sure.
And it becomes conditional. So as long as this person does this, or as long as this person does that. And what I have to think about sometimes if my God had that type of love for me and for all of us,
sure.
I mean, we would be lost. Like, seriously. I mean, where would it be without the agape love? What state could we be in if we all worked on having that agape love?
Sure.
And it's almost unrecognizable, basically, in today's society.
Sure.
And what we all should be pushing for is having that selfless love, that faithfulness, that deliberate, empathetic love. So when you sit down and think about the definition, we had something here that talks about that.
And also, let's feel free to comment because again, we want to do two-way conversation. So
Yeah.
if you chime in any comments or anything you want to add to our discussion, we're open for that.
So
definitely.
one question I like to ask is, do you think there's ever a time that you should not have agape love? I would love for you to put it in the chat. When do you think there's a time that we should never demonstrate that agape love?
So, and again, agape means a selfless love, giving of oneself without expecting anything back, thinking of others, being faithful, making sacrifice or commitment, or being empathetic, or a love that comes from our Creator, God, our Father, Abba, Yahweh. And when should we not have that? That's what you said.
So if something brings to my memory of, when we had a couple of devastating, terribly vicious type things that's happened in our society, right? And my thing is, when we saw that visually, for example, when we had that massacre.
When you say massacre?
Massacre killing in Charleston, South
Carolina.
Carolina.
In this area,
Okay,
right.
And I saw in those people, I saw an agape love from those people, because it was not thinking about themselves. They thought about the soul of the individual, even though that has got to be the hardest struggle for some people to cross. Could you actually say you would get there? I guess you never know.
You mean forgiveness there?
That type of forgiveness.
They
have a serious agape love.
It takes something.
I have somebody here say, I don't think there is no time.
Right,
Okay? We need to live like God.
And I think it's love like
God loves.
Absolutely.
If we could just get there. Gosh, if we could just get there. What a world we would have.
And I think that is that's a lifelong, I think, journey.
It is.
I don't think. Do you ever get there per se? I think the journey continues to evolve. So that's the thing with that, and so.
And I use that example.
Right.
I use that example because I felt that they demonstrated a lot of those characteristics in agape love.
Sure.
They were given. They had that charitable compassion and empathy and selflessness and faithfulness toward another human being that was really their enemy. So can I have agape love toward my enemy? Ooh, child, let me tell you something. So I've had some enemies, and still probably do.
Sure, right.
And I have to talk to myself. I don't know about y'all, but I have to talk to myself to say, okay, Melendia, now, will you love them even though they did this to you? Can you? And I think Charles had said something one time a couple years ago when a certain situation happened. If I ever was to see this person, a person that did something detrimental to our family and immediately me, if I saw them on the side of the road, stranded, would I help her? Would I have that agape love? Well, back then, nope.
You say what? Back then, no?
Back then. And and right now, if I was to deal, the state now, I ain't stopped. I'm sorry, COVID's out here. So
Sure.
I may pull over the side and say, do you need me to call somebody for you? And that would be a struggle for me.
Right.
But I know that my God would love me regardless. He would have that he has that deliberate compassion for me, even in my faults.
Right. Okay. So the thing is, again, we're talking about agape love. We believe we tackled it first because we believe it's one of the supremes of love. I know there was a song a while back growing up. There was a song said the greatest love is to love your self.
Self.
So I believe that you have to connect first with your creator, your God, Abba, Father, Yah, Yahweh, whatever you call, what name you call, what title you call. I believe you need to connect with your creator first. Once you get that love and experience that love, then you can go on to demonstrate love towards whether your spouse, whether your love partner, whether your children, family, whether work, co-workers, and just to navigate in life, even to strangers. You got to have that one, I think. And that perfects the other ones there. That's why we tackled it first, because again, we said earlier that this love is a selfless love.
Yeah.
And wife, mentioned, but what we do, that's when you are less than. Right. You're not the greatest one. You are less than. Right. You think of other people more than you think of yourself.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying neglecting yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not,
That's the greatest.
That is the greatest of love. And we have to, again, connect to our Father in order to demonstrate that love towards others.
Yeah.
And it's so needed today because I listen to the news on a daily basis. I'm hearing people that's taking other people's lives. I'm hearing even from people that we have in authority, that people have trusted over the years, that they are even showing more corruption, some of them, not all. And you're just seeing so much nowadays that it just seems over and over, and it only cries out and shows that there is a need for that agape love in our lives today.
And you know that we have that expectation of those that we feel should have that agape love, right? Mm-hmm. So you're talking about your caregivers.
Okay.
You talk about your ministers.
Mm-hmm.
You even talk about supposed to be your teachers.
Sure.
Your educators.
Mm-hmm.
The nurses. Just having that love and selflessness.
Right.
To be able to help humanity.
Sure.
And where we are today, we really need to pray for that agape love.
Yes, right.
We really do. And this is just something we felt that kicks off our 5-day of talking about our love series, and we can't begin any other loves because there's some loves that's
absolutely there. Yeah, there is. Definitely. And again, we open for comments. So anytime you want to leave a comment or put a comment, go ahead and chime in. You may have other ideas that may spark something that we've said, may have sparked an idea. We're open for ideas. So in this discussion, not a one way, but we're open to
it's a conversation. We have a conversation. So I do
have
another question.
Yep,
I do have another question. If you was to do a self-evaluation,
okay. Mm-hmm.
Would you say you have an agape love? Two parts of that. Is it conditional based on the person or the situation? I'll pour out my life and my love and my unconditional feelings toward this person because I know that they will love me too.
Ooh, can I say something?
Yeah.
In the question, you said something.
Mm-hmm.
You said, do you have that agape love? And I have to go back over the top of the definition of agape love.
Mm-hmm.
It's selfless. Mm-hmm. Giving without expecting anything back in return. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. It thinks of others. Mm-hmm. It's faithful. Mm-hmm. It sacrifices. Right. It is a committed type of love. Yes. This love has empathy. Mm-hmm. This is a love that comes not only from the father to his children, but from the children back to their father. Yeah. So, and you asked the question, is it conditional? If your agape love is conditional, guess what?
I'm just saying.
It's
now
not agape love.
Yeah, but wait
if
a
it's
minute.
conditional.
But see, I can't answer for other people.
No, I'm not answering for anybody per se. I'm just saying if your love is conditional, it's not agape love. Because understand, our Father's love towards us, it says that He loved us while we were what?
Yet.
In our
Yet.
mess.
Yes.
Okay, so He loved us. That was without condition. So in order for us to learn that love, we have to love without condition.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
granted,
but
I
still,
don't want to
the
answer
question. You're right. Still the question.
for anyone. So somebody said, "Can you have agape love for certain people?" Wow, can you?
Now I'll
Can
say
you have
this.
agape love for certain people?
I'll say this. And I'm gonna say something. This is more Bible based to a degree. Okay, it is because the Scripture says to us at one point that we ought to have a special love towards the household of faith. So it may be, let's say, is it, I think it's still agape love, but then I think that love may even exceed or shows more towards some people, and especially the household of faith. Now, I'll say this. Try not to be biased with your love, per se.
So to answer her question, answer this question,
I think.
So can you have an agape love
I think
for certain people?
I think.
So does God have a certain love toward
Lord.
us?
You got me. You got me on something they're thinking. Because, okay, does God have a certain, well, He does for special people. He has a people that He set aside that He claimed, you are my people. So, you might have a point there that truly that there is. Because just like a father, does a father treat his children the same as other children?
Do you treat your children differently?
There is a difference. I may love the other children around, but those are mine. Understand? So I can go along with treating people a little different, but it doesn't mean you don't love them.
We talk about our same two children. No, we don't love them any different. But do you love maybe your children differently than you do somebody else's
and that's what I'm saying. Because a lot of times, but we know that the agape love is a selfless love. Right. It's giving without expectation.
I can still have that love for. So to answer your question, I think you still can have that love for a person, but the agape love to a certain group of people or a certain person, that may be a question. That may be a that may be a point. Yes, that may be a point.
I think that's a possible point. Yeah. I think there's a possibility.
Yeah, that was a great question.
And definitely got me thinking, and because definitely, I think you can show love towards a certain people.
But
some people do that with family,
Yeah, they do. They call it, some people have family and other ones have relatives.
Ooh,
so you have that different love for your family than you do your relatives. Do you have that agape love toward your family and not your relative? Think about that.
Maybe we need to try to, work to show as less bias as we can.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
All right.
So,
because even with that, I know it tells us to love our enemies, even our enemies. So I don't know.
And I know sometimes it can be challenging. And I know it can be challenging. So, we want to sum up what we talk about tonight. And our first day here and opening up our love series here is we could not have started it without talking about the agape love.
Sure.
And we have this is a time of reflection, and self-evaluation. Even reflection, self-evaluation, even when we don't want to, even when the person has hurt us tremendously. And now we got me thinking, should it be done towards certain people?
Got you thinking.
Got me thinking.
Well,
The agape love.
yeah, and again, we for ones that may have missed, again, we chose agape love because again, we feel like it's one of the higher level loves that we think has to be present before you can love someone else, whether your spouse, whether siblings, whether family, friends, co-workers. We believe connecting with your creator, again, whatever name or title you give, whether God, Yahweh, Yah, Abba, Father, connecting there first and getting that unconditional love that helps us to love one another. And just like even in a marriage, we can learn how to love each other like we are too.
Yeah.
So that's why we chose the agape love.
Yeah.
And again, even with loving brothers, and you look around in society nowadays, as we say, we hear so much in the news, and especially among our black people. For me, I think that we sometimes we demonstrate some of the most hate towards each other. And it shows that we really need to get hold of the agape love so we can love our brothers. And so in so many of these cities around our country, there's so much killing and so much happening, and because we hate one another. And when I look at you, I see me. This is my brother, my skin. And we need to learn how to love one another. And again, so much has been done to our psyche from slavery that the things that we see, we are destroying one another. So, we've got to learn to love. Not only us, and we go beyond our community, but look at even when it comes down to political views, it comes down now to the health views that we're talking about here and now. There's so much hatred that's going around. Again, like I say, the political scene, the race scene, the religious scene. There's so many ways that the enemy is dividing people, and we need to connect and just say, put it on pause, because sometimes things happen to a people for a reason. And we've been shut down. And God may want us to pause for a second to connect back to Him and to learn to have an agape love, because we know love covers a multitude of fault.
Yes.
And so
just think about, because the way things has been going, it hadn't been great.
No.
So now certain things has been shaken up in us. Now it's time for us again. Do we have to again sit down and be directed to the right way to see our brother and see our sister? So it takes a village. It takes all of us. It takes us all to be able to come together and realize the potential in each other and accept things that it may be different. It may be different from your opinion. They may be different. Okay, if a person is decides to get vaccinated and the other one don't, why should I not have the same love toward you? And people's opinion differ, whether it's that or whether it's if one decides to marry a different race or do, we all have to come together and realize the agape love is what is more important.
Sure.
And maybe we'll get there, guys.
That's unconditional. And it doesn't depend on what you do or what you've done for me. How you live, your decisions in life, your choices in life. I love you anyway.
Absolutely.
And that's something we as a people need to work on.
Absolutely. So
in conclusion,
we love you. We do. And I don't even know some of y'all out there in the social media land. But I'm learning to be someone that has the agape love even when it doesn't agree with me.
Sure. Right.
And I am constantly evaluating myself, because I know sometimes I don't demonstrate that.
Sure.
So how about you?
And that's a journey. Yeah, that's a journey that we all need to take, really. Yeah. And just like, that's the thing about evolving in life. If you, through this life, learn something and it makes you better, guess what?
You make us all better.
Yeah. One at a time. Yeah. We learn, we get better one at a time. And that's the thing. Yeah. So, again, we're glad that you all joined us.
Yeah.
For our talk.
Great conversation.
And again, comments, you're welcome. that to even put comments to say what you need to say at
And
this
we'll be
point
back
now.
tomorrow
And
for day 2.
Tomorrow, day 2.
Let you know what that love
7:30
is.
p.m. Eastern
And
Standard.
Some of them gonna get a little spicy.
Talking about love still. You know, you got so many songs talking about love. Everybody love, this and that, but there are different types of love, and we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
we'll
in
talk to you.
conclusion, any last comments, anything
Just put
before
them in
we
the
do?
comments, and
Gotcha.
then we'll get back with you. Okay. That is all for today,
So what we
and we'll talk to you soon. Okay. Take care.
be blessed, folks.
We're gonna leave you with a little something. So if he gonna get it on here, he can get it on here. We're gonna end.
Well, look, yeah. You know that's the thing with electronics for you. You know what I'm saying?
Technology.
You know,
But guess what? I got a little self-love for him. Okay.
Hey,
Sing it
we
with
got
us.
you.
You know what? He messing up my groove right now.
Just keeping it real. Come on, y'all. With us, our little thing. Just keeping it real.
Just keeping it real.
Just keeping it real. Keep it real, folks. All right, we love you. Charles and Melendia.
Bye.
Be blessed. We
Bye.
love you.